Hello everyone, Brad Johnson here. Thank you so much for being on the Reality Whisperer channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about the meaning of channeling. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the meaning of channeling, and what I'm going to do is just connect to the higher mind, and the higher mind will come through and share information as it relates to the meaning of channeling. Alright, so if we're firstly looking at the idea of channeling, the example we're going to create here represents that of a cluster or a nest of spheres. Now, where do these particular spheres emanate from? These spheres are elements of the mind. Throughout centuries, throughout millennia, many people have been able to go past their own aspects of what they consider to be a conditionalized or archetypal mind that are contained within this particular physical realm. So when we look at this archetypal mind, and those who have been able to go deeply into it, when we start to look at channeling, the channeling aspect comes with us being able to negotiate the channels of the mind. So to channel is to work your way through the canals, or in this way, the channels of the spheres that represent the mind to connect to a source that would, in this case, come directly into the apex center of the mind complex. When channelers are able to connect to this energy, it comes at its strongest degree in relationship to surrender. And that surrender can also represent the idea of retreat. This retreat does not represent the idea of turning yellow, being a chicken, throwing everything down, and running for the hills. It is very similar to how one would see a spiritual retreat. That there is a surrendering, there is a tranquility, there is an energy of peace that is waving through you, that is like a current that is moving and negotiating itself through the mind. So when we are looking at the idea of the meaning of channeling, we look into the aspect of the mind. Secondly, it can also represent another aspect, the aspect of the heart, because the heart itself is the very essence that is working together in allowing you to negotiate through these channels of the mind. The heart is the purity of feeling. And so if we are utilizing the heart to connect with the energies that allow us to channel into the aspects of mind, for mind is the database to where all life, as it is understandable in relationship, in fathoming in that state of experience, dwells. It dwells within this cluster, within this nest of spheres. So that represents the idea of the meaning of channeling. This is why channeling has been shared as it does. There is also the idea of medium, which is a translator, a speaker for spirit, a proxy. So the medium, again, representing the direct bridge between the physical and the spiritual. So, mediumship would represent that liaison, that proxy connection. Channeling represents that negotiation, utilizing the heart energies to bringing yourself into surrender, into retreat, into the idea of allowance, tranquility, peacefulness, so that you are able to harmoniously navigate the channels of the mind to connect with all life in familiarity, within reference, within experience. That, therefore, represents the channeling state. As stated, anybody can do this. Anybody can become a channel. Anyone can become a medium. Because even though they are two different types of definitions, they represent the same source. They are aligning themselves, they are centering themselves, they are negotiating through the archetypal mind, utilizing the energy of the heart to connect to a source. And that is what the mediumship, the channeling equally involve, pertaining to the references of their meaning. All right, now we are going to go into a second part here, where I'm going to bring in entities to share information relating to their specificity of the term of channeling. Firstly, we will begin with Adronis, then we will begin with RaYaR, and then we will take it from there to see who else would like to join via the channeling state. So I will just take a moment now to bring Adronis through, and he will share his meaning in regards to the idea of channeling. One moment, please, and here we begin. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis we are here at this time, and we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. We have been asked to share information as it relates to the term, the meaning of the idea of channeling. So as it has just been shared through the idea of this conduit's higher mind, that it is a negotiation. It is basically the form that you are giving yourself permission to connect. You are giving yourself permission to bypass what you would consider to be irregularities, or what you have termed as belief systems. Belief systems fundamentally represent the idea of irregularities pertaining to the mind. They are basically, in that idea, symptoms. They are side effects that have been created through the mind to giving the impression of limitation based upon how you value yourself through the empowerment of that limitation. And so when you are working together in a channeling state, when you are connecting more deeper to the innerness of your own being, you are negotiating, you are aligning yourself, you are bypassing these particular frequencies that represent the idea of limitation. Moving into the depths of the mind, connecting through the essence of the heart, and being able to align to the source that you are feeling guided to, like a moth to a flame, but not a moth that becomes burned up in the fire. It is a moth that becomes enriched in the light. And that represents this perspective, this point of view, as it relates to the term of channeling. Just as we are speaking through the conduit right now, where there is instantaneity, synchronicity, synergy of particular feelings, thoughts, aligned as one. That the feelings that we are sending this conduit are graciously subtle, and that he has trained himself to work together in these gracious subtlety ways to being able to interpret this data as it comes through in the interpretation of thought, through the subtle vibrations, the fractal patterns of gentleness that represent this transmission. And therefore this represents the apex, the nature, the centering, the realization, as it were, from our perspective, in regards to the term of channeling. One moment, please, now, as we will now adjust the conduit and allow RaYaR to come through and share her perspective in regards to the term of channeling. One moment, please. Beloveds, we thank you for this transmission. I am RaYaR, singer of Sirius Light, and before we commence this transmission operation, we want to take a moment to bless you with the energies of song, so that this will therefore summarize much in regards to what we have to share, as it pertains to the definition of channeling. Do, 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 signi, signi, We thank you, brothers and sisters, beloveds, for once again allowing us to share our presence together with you. And we will state that the energies that each of you seek, the ethereal connection that represents yourselves, are truly what you discover when you channel. That the channeling bridge itself connects you back into the prime, into the energy, the primordial source that represents each of you, to being able to look at the matrix as an observer. And that the matrix is rich in the idea of perspectives that you have established for yourself to connect with, to understand that this represents the genuine article of what you are attempting to interpret, about what you are attempting to live through as you look at perspective, as you negotiate the channels, the connections through your mind, through your heart, through your spirit. You find family. That all expression, all experiences connect themselves together as family. And that is our perspective when you look at the idea of channeling. That so many of you are now starting to realize just how simple it is. It is not a complexity, for when you bring complexity into it, it is what creates distortion. It is what creates difficulty. There need not be any form of difficulty, complexities, when you channel. As the higher mind of this conduit has shared, that when you surrender, that when you go into retreat, when you go into your own space, your own sanctum of being, and realize that all that floats around you, all that exists around you, is that purity of peace, you are then adept as a channel, as a conduit, as a connector to your source. This, once again, shares our perspective of channeling. We thank you, beloveds, and we will now attune the frequency once again, as we will now bring forward the energies of the being that you would know as Kal'leena. Greetings. 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 I am Kal'leena of the YahYel civilization, and I am honored and privileged to share my energies with this wonderful conduit this evening of your time. And I know that you can only see me through this conduit, that you can only feel this energy via a video screen. But I want you to know that I am extending the biggest, warmest, loving hug to all of you that are gathered here energetically with us, instantaneously, synchronistically, infinitely, in this moment. And this is what the cherishing of channeling has brought us. This is what it has brought me, is being able to have the opportunity to connect with my human family in this way. As RaYaR has said, that it's connecting to your source, that it's looking into the observations of the matrix and realizing how it is all family, the experience itself. And that is how we see you. That is how we see your energies. We are family reaching from afar, giving you that warm, embracing hug, that love that you are, we share. Because we are human, just as you. There's no difference. The only difference is we exist in another space, in another time, in another dimension. But that will soon crisscross. That will soon connect together with all of you. For your children are on board our ships. Children that you have helped to co-create. Children that love you so much it cannot be shared with words. That they connect with all of you dearly. And through the opportune times to connect in channeling in this way, this is what makes us smile. This is how many of you, mothers, fathers, that have produced such beautiful children, are able to connect with them. It is truly your own ability to connect with the hearts and the minds of your children that paint you beautiful pictures, that show you visions of how their life is, that play as you play, that work as you work, that live as you live, and that channeling gives us the opportunity to share this space, for you to connect to the source of your children, to connect with the source of your family, to connect with the source of possibility, for that is channeling to us. And know that we are always here, we are always watching, and we are always here to assist you in the endeavors that you continue to co-create upon a beautiful blue world you know as Earth. So we thank you, and we send you our love, and we give you once again that beautiful, warm, loving hug that all of you are cherished, are appreciated, and we thank you. We will now attune the frequencies to bring forward the entity that you know as Kidioki. One moment.
Greetings to our brothers and sisters of planet Earth. I am Kidioki of the Plau'Yel civilization. What a tremendous time this is in your period. What is a tremendous time to us? Well, it's being able to communicate with you. That's what makes it all so exciting. And that's what channeling makes it so exciting. In this particular way, where we can share ourselves, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, our nephews, our nieces, our parents, our grandparents, aunts and uncles, all alike. Yes, we're all in relation. We're all connected. We're all different people. We're all different energies, but we all dance to the same string of consciousness. This is what channeling has brought together with us, making us one step closer to you, closer to ourselves as we understand ourselves more, to the matrix of your being, to the triad of relationship that connects the conscious, the subconscious, the superconscious, and that we exist in all those streams simultaneously, innovatively, relationship-wise, so that we can begin such friendly gestures of transmission as this one that you're receiving now. So we thank you. We want to encourage all of you to channel more, to look into yourselves, because again, even though you have a very enriching philosophy to yourselves, it may be boring at times. Why not bring in a friend through this state, through this measure, through this means? Again, we say that with great amusement, as we don't find any of you boring at all. And we want to offer our appreciation as the veil between our connection and the connections of yourselves are thinning, are getting closer together. And again, it all relates to the connections that you have forged with us, with the YahYel, with the Sirians, with the Pleiadians, with the Arcturians, with the Andromedans, with the Lyrans, with all those color names that you continue to share, just as we have our colorfulness of the Plau'Yel civilization, of the Talamara, however you wish to term us is fine. If you want to call us Bashar's ancient relatives, you can certainly call us that too. We don't care, because it's all just one. It's all just a resonance, just a frequency, and that's fine. If you want to also call us Adronis' homies, you can call us that too. Play with these energies, because we dance, we play, we share, we enrich, we educate, we have fun, just as we're having fun right now. And to us, channeling has made that happen, has made that a possibility for this delightful conversation with all of you. We thank you. I am Kidioki of the Plau'Yel, and we will now attune the frequencies back to Adronis. One moment, please. We thank you once again, and we will now bring forward our final contact, representing the energies of Orion, as we now align these energies to Kylo of Orion. Q''I''L''O, Kylo of Orion, as he will share his perspective as well to the terms of channeling. One moment again as we attune this conduit.
We ask for your patience. One moment as we connect the vectors. Now opening Orion gate. First vector. Second vector. Third vector. Delta achieved. Light transmission commencing. Light transmission commencing. Begin communication. Begin communication. I am Kylo of Orion. I am Kylo of Orion. For I exist within the star that you have termed as Mintaka, upon the third planet. For the star in our ancient language refers to it as Zril. And we want to thank you for this space. For my energies represent that of a linguist, a language of light specialist, as you may call it. One who sings delightful melodies. And that our culture is again genetically related to yours. You would understand that our physical appearance is somewhat albino in that way, with light, or what you would know as frosty light hair. But enough with the introductions of ourselves. We have been brought forward through this device to share information about channeling. While you see its ability now, you see what it's capable of. You see how it connects all of you. You see how it connects you to the galaxy without having to explore physically. Because again, we have been here. We have been watching. And we are connecting back with our ancient Earth family. For we have watched you for hundreds of thousands of years. Since your earliest dawns of time. And we are quite amazed by everything that you have experienced. And that in this ability, in this way that you connect through the tunnel of channeling, it truly warms our hearts. That so many of you are passionate to connect back to your star ancestors, to your elders, because understand that you're a young race, that all the elders that have gathered here have contributed their energies, contributed their genetics to making you who you are. Because you all as soul hold many different memories. You all hold different inclinations of being. And to us, we are grateful for this. That you have chosen such a planet, you have chosen such a world, you have come through such a convolution relating to such energies on your planet that you have now decided to open yourselves up further, to connect with your star family, to connect with other dimensions of reality, to where you realize that the connections in this way don't seem so alien to you. It's starting to feel that everything systematic on your planet feels more alien to you than this. And we're starting to really appreciate that you're seeing that. Because there's a lot to come. You're in for a lot of surprises. A lot of pleasant surprises. Starting this year. But again, we're not here to chit-chat with all that. We want to share our perspectives with channeling. This device right now is still learning to connect with our energy. It's a little bit more mellow than he may realize. But again, I am what you would know as an open conduit. an open conduit of information, and others are able to communicate with me, as I am communicating with others on your planet right now, as different names. But this name of Kylo is appropriate. I represent a parallel version of Brad in this Orion life. You would understand that Adronis and myself are brothers in our own right, in our own connection. We have been communicating for quite some time in your language, well within the thousands of years. And so for Adronis and for myself and through all others that have come through this conduit right now, we are happy to share ourselves in this way. And again, we thank it. We thank you for opening yourselves up through this means of connection that you call channeling. Negotiating yourselves through the canals to making this happen, to letting yourselves go, to surrendering yourselves, to making yourselves privileged to be in stillness. And that is how we define it. So before we conclude, we ourselves will give a language of light transmission, somewhat different to RaYaR's, but again, nonetheless, it is a melody in that way. Please allow us a moment so we can connect and attune this device. Kaya nanolu, kaya nananu, ye nano, ya ye nano, sala nanahe, sala nanahe, oya nanacho, oya nanacho, keyash nanoro, keyash nanoro, varat nanasi, varat nanasi, oyo nanohe, oyo nanohe, oro manoni, oro manoni, haya nanosi, haya nanosi, oro, 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 aro, aro. We want to thank you for allowing that beautiful melody through this device, and that may it enrich you, and may it connect you to other realms, to other dimensions, and simply enjoy the melody, smell it, taste it, touch it, hear it, see it, because that is all of the senses that it represents, together with you all. We will now conclude at this time. I am Kylo of Orion. Thank you. And we will now conclude and close the Orion Gate. Goodbye. We are back, and we thank you once again for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius. Thank you. Farewell for this timing, and we now return to the conduit. We'll speak to you again, as now is forever, and all is one. Goodbye. Well, that was great. Nice, beautiful community of all these entities that, again, just part of my soul family. And again, I know that they can connect through many of you as well, too. As again, you have your own soul families as well. And they don't just share like bubbles, like spheres, just touching each other, connecting and sharing in that harmony. So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into this video. Feel free to visit realitywhisperer.com for sessions, digital courses. In fact, the brand new course, the Abundance Attunement Series, is now available on realitywhisperer.com. So you can go ahead and check that out. Thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking to you all in the next video. Take care. Namaste, and may it be well with you. Goodbye.